Let's shift it over to softball. They had their AMC conference openers on Friday against Mount Vernon of Nazarene. They split those games, a win for Zelenka, a loss for Inzana. So the Pioneers 1-1 to start off the AMC conference. They had games on Sunday as well, a doubleheader against Gannon, and they would get blanked in game one against Gannon 2-0. Dragon, a no-hitter through 6, struck out 11. Absolute dominating performance there for Gannon in game one. And in game two, it was much of the same, although there was much more hitting involved in game two. Gannon would take that one as well, 12-4. Cortazzo 1 for 3, 3 RBIs. Davis had a good day, 2 for 3, 2 RBIs. Moran also had a good day. She went 3 for 3. We're going to bring in Kevin Calhoun now. Kevin, an up-and-down weekend for the ladies. Yep. You know, 1 of 2 against Mount Vernon of Nazarene on the road. Not too bad of a way to start off your conference season, but not as good against Gannon in a non-conference showdown.
Yeah, I mean, what you really want to focus on, Josh, is the fact that they did take 1 of 2 from Mount Vernon, but the Gannon games really told us more about this team, and the fact is that they need to have both sides of the game show up in each game. You can't hit one game and pitch another game and expect to win. They pitched well in one game, but the bats literally were not there. Dragon had a perfect game through, I believe, 4 1/3. She walked somebody in the 5th and then gave up the 1 hit there in the 7th. And then in the second game, they put up 4 runs. They had a bunch of hits in that game, but you give up 12. Neither of those are recipes for success. You have to find a happy middle ground here. I'm not saying you have to, blank the other team. A 2-1 win's not a bad thing, but you have to infuse everything at the same time.
And when you bring everything into account there, Kevin, as well, 5 of 6 on the bad side for the Pioneers. And you look at it, too, on Sunday in game 2, you had Robertson in there, got the start. She let up 5, and then that's where she got pulled. And then Inzana went in there and let up 7. This pitching staff needs to step up. I thought this was going to be the bright spot for the Pioneers early on, but right now they're just struggling a little bit.
I think we all did, Josh. I thought that if you looked at this team, we said they're going to struggle to hit to start the year, and we've said that before. And they've had their ups and downs hitting, but we thought that Inzana and Zelenka and Heigl and all these pitchers for this team were really going to be able to carry this Pioneer team. And Zelenka pitched great in that first game. I mean, you lose 2-0, the pitching was there. But it has to be that 1 through 3 or 1 through 4, however many pitchers you want in that rotation. Typically it's 4 right now. But you have to translate everything between games. You can't just have, a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personality with this team.
And it seems like that's what that is, too, Kevin, because like you said, in game 1, nobody slung the bat well in game 1. I mean, that's obvious. When you only get 1 hit, and that hit comes in the 7th inning where the pinch hitter was Ashley Miller, who got the lone hit for the Pioneers, came in there. She went 1 for 1. Nobody swung out. Soar struck out 3 times. Dragon had 11 Ks. I mean, she's just was fanning Pioneers left and right.
11 Ks is a lot in a 9-inning game.
Yeah, I've been waiting all season long to see them put it together against a good team. You saw them put it together against Penn State Fayette. They did play, I'd say, 2 well-played games against Mount Vernon Nazarene. Errors just absolutely murdered the Pioneers in game 2 of that game against the Cougars. They cannot afford to do that.
Yeah, and that's the wild card, Josh, in all this, is I keep talking about you have to pitch well and you have to hit well in each game. You can't be going back and forth. But then the wild card is you have to field well. Because if you're pitching well, but nobody's going to catch the ball, then the runs are still going to cross the plate. We saw the Pioneers lose a handful of games last year where the pitcher didn't have an unearned run. An earned run. Just a ton of unearned runs. And you came out of the baseball segment, you said we're waiting for them to beat a good team and beat them well. The Pioneer baseball team did that. Now it's time for the softball team. They need to really put that whole package together, and we'll see if they can do it.
And at the end of the day, too, one of the best things about this, although they are struggling, they're sub 500 for the first time since spring. The talent is there. They have good quality players on this team. Up and down the roster, senior to freshman, on the pitching side of things, on the hitting side of things, they have good players on this team.
Oh, they do, up and down the lineup. I mean, Penn State Fayette, obviously, the caliber team they bring, but we saw it that weekend when they played Penn State Fayette. They had the entire lineup, top to bottom, working the pitch count, putting the ball in the outfield. We've seen 3 or 4 different batters batting that 4 spot and that 3 spot and lead off the game. So again, this Pioneer team, they have the pieces in place, and we know the pitching can be there. We've seen it at times, and really it just fell apart this last weekend. It's been decently good all year long. It's been the batting that's been behind, but no, again, the pieces are there. It's putting it all together each day, because again, if you keep trading off a good pitching day for a good hitting day, again, you're sitting at 11 and 12 now, and that's not going to get much better.
Well,